What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I wanted to talk about cards and card values and why, very specifically, as will probably be the title of this video, I actually think that card values being kind of in the dumpster right now and us having an oversupply of cards specifically for the current player base could actually be a really, really positive thing in the medium to long term. Actually, no, I'm going to say short to medium term because I want to be a little bullish here in terms of where I think things could potentially go and all of the plans that the team has to hopefully grow out this ecosystem and hopefully the player base with all the different features that they're planning to add over the next, we'll say 1 to 2 years, right? So again, however you define it, short, medium, long, I'm saying between 1 to 2 years. We're about a year away, less than a year away from the Bitcoin halving, and I think hopefully we'll be in the ensuing bull run that happens after that in about 2 years from now. But let me get back to my main point because I digress. What we're seeing now is this massive supply of cards. And if you saw the video that I posted yesterday, I was talking about how SPS is really the main thing. If we can get SPS to go up, it kind of solves a lot of problems across the rest of the ecosystem. And I wanted to dig in specifically to card values here and to the card supply. Now, what do I mean by this? If you remember 2021, the wave of players that came in was so crazy and so many people felt priced out because card values shot through the roof. And that was great at the time because people were looking at that and saying, well, you know, I want to play. The value of my assets are going up for people who've been around. But a lot of new players came in, probably didn't end up sticking around because, you know, to buy a summoner for, you know, a rare summoner for like $13 just for a single BCX, or some of these legendary summoners going for hundreds, maybe even $1,000 with something like Jotun. It was absolutely insane. But a lot of people got in, and a lot of people, I'm assuming, didn't. So here's why it's going to be important moving forward. Just around the corner, and when I say just around the corner, after land, obviously, we have SPS staking as a requirement in order to earn rewards, or at least it's going to dictate how much you get in terms of your overall rewards that will be coming in. So when we think about the amount of SPS per player, what we really want is a lot of players to come in and for them all to be fighting for SPS, which means if players do start discovering the game, whether it's a small trickle in, which is probably happening right now, or we get a massive wave due to a bull run, due to a metaverse gaming run, due to a guild or multiple guilds coming in with all of the work that the team is doing, the marketing efforts that the team is doing, marketing, partnerships, all that, whatever it ends up being, if they all end up coming in, there are plenty of cards for players, and these card values won't start shooting up in value unless we get a ton of players coming in. Now, it sucks for us, right? Because we see our card values down, and obviously we want to see we want to feel like we're somewhat vindicated. But when you think about the ecosystem as a whole, let's say because of the fact that there are so many cards out in the ecosystem and because they're cheap right now and will remain cheaper longer just because there's a larger supply, we could potentially bring in more players rather than just the select few who make it in early. So what I'm trying to get is, like, when Untamed was sold out, you had a lot of people who came in and ate up the rest of the remaining cards. And after that was done, you had other players, even including myself, who looked at that and said, nah, I'm not going to buy any of these cards now. I'll wait until the next set comes out. And I was one of the few people who did wait until the next set came out. A lot of people were just like, let me go find another game. So now, if that pool of players that is able to come in and eat up cards because they see the value, of the game, they see SPS going up in value, and that's going to be an important part. And I've talked about it multiple times. That's why I'm not necessarily focusing on it now. This all hinges on us getting SPS to start going up in value, so that the rewards start looking good, so that people start coming into the game, and with a higher supply of cards and a low value on those cards for a longer time due to the higher supply, we get more players coming in, which means more players, more people fighting for a limited amount of SPS. You get where I'm going at now? You follow that logic through, and we could actually get more people in the door addicted and excited about the ecosystem rather than just a select few that make it during the initial rush. The longer it goes on means that you have more people who come in, they get to attend the town halls, they get to see the community, they get to be a part of it, feel like they're building something up, have equity and value and some kind of stake in the platform, and decide that they're going to stick around for, the long term, or longer term, I should say. So, that's kind of my thinking overall. Some of you might say, oh, well, you're just coping, right? But at the end of the day, like, I actually see it from a very logical perspective, potentially playing out that way as being somewhat beneficial for the medium to long term, short, medium, long term, whatever it is, for over the next 1 to 2 years. And obviously before Rebellion comes out. And I'm not saying Rebellion is not going to come out for 2 years. I'm just trying to call out the fact that, like, there's an interesting opportunity here, somewhat similar to what we had after Untamed sold out, but in a much better way, just because of the fact that there's so many more cards, meaning we can get more feet in the door before things get too crazy and people feel like they're priced out. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. I know a lot of people are going to be, a lot of the salt miners out there are going to be like, oh, you're just coping and whatever the case is. But I genuinely feel like this could be a positive thing. What it's going to take for us is obviously a little bit more patience. And like many of you, I'm kind of at the end of my patience. I really want to see things turn around. I really want to see a lot of the changes and features that we've all been asking for. So I am excited for the next couple of months with all the different things that they have planned. But we want to start seeing that come into effect. And most importantly, we want to see way more utility, even more so than just SPS staking, come into the mix for the overall ecosystem. So we want SPS to go to the moon, and hopefully that will solve all of our problems. But that is all I have. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.